Hey, PDHP parents and community, Carrie Ann Fitzgerald from the Program for the Development of Human Potential. We have been talking about preventive parenting, how to talk to our kids, what the trends are when it comes to substances and their misuse. We're up to a point where we talk about teaching refusal skills, and it's interesting. We have this parent curriculum that we offer, and it's a 5-week session, 2 hours. A lot of parents have committed to it in the past. And we talk about all these different skills that are so manageable in different points of the family and even in different points of relationships that you may have. So it is always something great to add to your toolkit in parenting. But one of the things we talk about is teaching refusal skills. And now, as I've said, when we have services within a school or academy, our prevention education specialists, our regional coordinators, our prevention counselors, they are all there going over some of these ideas of refusal skills. So it wouldn't be new to your kids if you kind of started to do these. I don't know if they're always alliterated as refusal skills, but they should be familiar in some form. But consider them. The idea is to encourage your child throughout their lifespan to make their own decisions, even if they differ from their friends. That idea again of, have we ever learned how to say no to our friends? That can be a bit intimidating, especially as they get older. We have this tendency to want to rely on group. It kind of comes with our makeup, our genetics, our evolution as humans. So, suggesting ways to say no when offered things that are pressure. In this case, how to say no to vaping, which has become more and more popularized, and to other substances. For example, a simple phrase to go to: I'll pass, I don't like the way it makes me feel, no way, my parents would absolutely kill me if I tried that, no thanks, I have to head home now anyway. Even this idea of offering an alternative. So the kids can say, hey, I'm not into that, but let's go do this, or let's go do that. So for them, if it is something in your parenting conversations that they can maybe save the friendship, they can maybe feel like they're acting as a friend, that they can offset that pressure on that relationship, and they'll be able to have an alternative for fun. Let's go skateboard. Let's go grab a slice of pizza. Let's play a game, whatever it is. So as I said, our curriculum brings this as a curriculum and as activity into our schools. So ask your kids, role play your own scenarios. Role play these scenarios even early on, when your kids are little. What if your friend said that they want to? Things like that. An almost would you rather game. It feels strange, but kids love stuff like this. They love the technique, and eventually it becomes a norm for the family. So that is a plus. Plus, it also may be what eventually keeps your child safe. And I know that as parents, there's nothing that we wouldn't try, right? Try it once, twice, 3 times. See it starting to make a hold, a connection. Be aware of the environment. We have this thing in prevention science that we address called environmental strategies. We put them into our schools. We consider them with the kids in our classrooms. I bring this up sometimes as parents. Our executive director very recently had mentioned that he noticed something when it came to environmental strategies, and was walking past this signage of a celebrity promoting a tobacco product. And very pop culture icon, that kind of thing. And he said, wow, I really had to stop and think about that. What is this telling me to do? If I was really young and impressionable. And there are kids who perhaps are walking past signs like that on the daily, going to school, right? What is that message that we can drown out, perhaps, with some of these refusal skills? Do you have a child who walks past a school that has a reputation for selling to underage kids or illegal items being sold? Is your child's favorite snack item after school? You get to this rite of passage, right? Where you can go to the local deli or your bodega or whatever corner store and you can pick up a snack for yourself, right? So you have your allowance in your pocket, you go and you're picking up your snacks. But next to your snacks, we see something sold that is off the wall for our kids. Maybe right up next to them are the vaping products, or right up next to them are the 40s or the energy drinks, whatever it is. What is the message that our kids are receiving? What advertisements are they seeing daily? We can address these things within the community. You have a lot of civic organizations, business owners, the power of parents. I had parents in one of our groups say, they knew of a store that was selling to minors, selling vape products to minors. And they took themselves over there, a few parents, and said, hey, do you know that that's the reputation that you have? We'd hate to see that being true. Parents can put a little pressure on. Our kids are not going to come to your store anymore. We're not going to support your business anymore. So these are things, and then also if you affect that change, that conversation, that's someone who comes into your circle and supports and says, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this is set up this way. So let me change that. Let me be a safe haven for the kids in the community. Address it in your community. Address it in your home. Address it with your child. PDHP, we have this curriculum called Life Skills. We have a curriculum called Too Good for Drugs, Too Good for Violence. Use that too. You do that too, okay? And as I had said yesterday, when we look at advertisements of tobacco on our social media, that's another environment that we're a part of, right? A couple of years ago, there were pop-ups of vape products that would really target minors. And then there was legislation against that. But in that data that I posted yesterday, you'll see when we talk about Instagram, there are, I believe it was e-cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, vape products, are advertised on Instagram at a level of 84%. So consider where your kids are online. What are they seeing online? Environmental strategy, refusal skills. Talk about those ads. What's this about? Is it true? Remember that idea we learned about fact over fear. So choose the fact. Thanks, everyone. This is right before Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Talk to your kids about that legacy, the service, the camaraderie, the love, the patriotism. Talk about that. Sometimes our kids just look at these things like, oh, it's a day off, and they don't connect to the big picture. It is such a big picture. It is such a big moment. I hope you have a great time with your family, with this extra time that we are allotted. And I will see you next week. Next week we will continue on. Have some very interesting information coming up next week. Different parts of coping skills, ways to avoid and prevent drug use, symptoms and concerns, and also a biggie, there's some legislation around it that you should be aware of as a parent. And finally, also how to have a conversation if you realize you're in the middle of intervening on your child's misuse. Okay, take care.